them. A lot of them overlap. A lot of them have the same things on them, but I think they're fantastic. So I was listening to Tony Robbins. If everybody knows Tony Robbins here, say me down below if you know Tony Robbins. Everybody has. If you haven't, well, a lot of people have. If you haven't, do look him up. He's an incredible guy. Just a beast when it comes to, hi Karen, thanks for popping on. And Jason, thanks for popping on. Everybody, thanks for popping on. Just a beast when it comes to getting out of your own way, getting out of your own mind. And I really love that, because if you've had the pleasure of hanging around me a little bit, or the displeasure, some people would think, I tend to not let you bullshit yourself. When I hear it, I just call it as it is. And I think, to me, that is one of my strengths. I embrace that in myself. I don't know where I learned it from. I have no clue. But I just don't like wasting time, and I don't like bullshit. So I'll call you out on it anytime. If you're saying something to yourself that is a lie to yourself, which a lot of people do, we lie to ourselves. I'll call you out on that, and keep you on track. And I love Tony Robbins for that. I like Gary Vaynerchuk for that as well. There's a couple of people that I do I listen to, and they resonate with me. It's just my style. But I also like a news reporter named Mike McHart, not just because he's got a cool last name, because his name is actually McHart, M-C-A-R-D-L-E. I'm M-C-C-A-R-D-L-E. So I'm double C, he's single C. But he always, at the end of the news hour here locally, he would always have a feel-good story on a Friday at the end of the news hour. And I love that as well. So I love being a feel-good kind of guy, and also a motivational through get out of your own way kind of guy. And today I want to sort of regurgitate what I learned from Tony yesterday. Tony Robbins, that is. And what I learned is all about standards. Standards. And it really hit me really, really, really hard yesterday when I was like, okay. And he was explaining, and I'll explain to you, that if we wanted to live a life, that all we wanted to do was just earn enough money to pay some of our bills, if that was in our mind, then this is in our mind, our standards are in our mind. If we wanted to make just enough money to pay some of our bills, that's how much money we would make. And if we wanted to make enough money, have a job to make just enough money, or enough money to pay all of our bills, that's what we would find. And if we set out on a path to make enough money to pay all of our bills, and to have a little bit left over to maybe have a trip at the end of the month, or to spend some time, or to put our kids through a sport or something like that, that's the amount of money that we would make. We wouldn't make anything more, because our standards for ourselves just basically say that that's what we want. That's what we're going to achieve. So our standards say that that's all that I'm worth. That's all that I'm going to do. And so if we have the standards that all that I'm worth, that's all that I can achieve, then what's going to end up happening is that's all you're going to achieve. So if that makes sense, say make sense down below. If we change our standards, where now we say, you know what, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I am sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. And I lived paycheck to paycheck for many, many, many years. As a matter of fact, up until I was given this opportunity and what I'm doing now in life, I lived basically paycheck to paycheck. I made pretty good money. I lived, well, okay, I didn't make the best money. I'll be straight up with you guys. I earned, what was my T4? My T4, which up here in Canada is basically, it's what you get from your employer that says how much you made. I think I made gross, it was about $70,000 a year. $70,000 gross. And up here in Canada, we've got a lot of taxes. So it's about, minimum is about 32%, I think, of taxes that come off your check. So I believe I ended up taking home about $40,000. And if you know anything about Vancouver, Vancouver is very costly. Love Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada is a very costly place to live. You know, a 5-bedroom house like the one that I reside in now, this one here would go for probably, you know, built in 1967. It would go here with the land. It's on a quarter, almost a 1/4 acre lot in a suburb. It would probably go for about $1.1 million, Canadian dollars. That's like $10 American. No, it's not. So, so about $1.1 million. So the mortgage on that, I have no clue what it would be. I have no clue. But it's going to be really, really, really costly. Probably about, I don't know, somebody on here is a mortgage specialist. You tell me what that would be over 25 years. It'd be a lot. So it's very expensive to live up here. But I don't have a mortgage. So I don't have to worry about that. And so I'm able to earn less money to have more disposable income. And that's really the key to life, is to have disposable income, or to have income that you have left over after you've paid all of your bills. So I've set myself up long ago with that life. So $40,000 net isn't a lot of money. But before I set myself up and I had my mortgage and all that stuff, I was living paycheck to paycheck. And even up until this opportunity and having that life that I had, if I wanted to take my daughter for a trip, or I wanted to take time off of work and go to my brother's house, to his house, and spend time at the lake, I would have to budget that and save up over the course of the year to budget for that trip. And I would have to really scrimp. I would have to give up something to get that, right? If you guys all know about that, or you've done that before, say me down below if you don't mind. So we save up a lot throughout the year so we can go on a vacation. That's the typical person that's around here, right? I want to go to a trip, you got to save up, or where am I going to find the money? I got to actually work more hours, or I got to send my wife to work, or my husband to work, or vice versa, whatever it is. Or someone, you got to find some way, or got to sell something or whatever to get more money. So our standards are what allows us to be able to achieve what it is that we feel we should have and can have. That's our standards. The same thing goes with a lot of different things in life, not just money. But today I'm going to talk about money. So my standards before were paycheck to paycheck, and I thought that's what life was. I thought that's what it was. I'm just going to earn enough money. I got this job. I'm going to earn enough money to just be able to do the things that I think I can do, the things that I choose to do. And it wasn't until one day where I said enough is enough. And I said, you know what, this isn't working for me. It's not working. And I need to think outside the box. Actually, as a matter of fact, I need to throw away the box. I need to do something different. Because as I looked around, everybody's standards were exactly the same. And everybody's standards were exactly the same because, you know, the saying, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you the rest of your life. Everybody was exactly the same, and everyone was doing the same thing. So I thought that it was normal. Everybody's struggling. So I'm struggling too. I'm normal, right? But it wasn't until I found an opportunity that I'm currently doing right now where I said enough is enough. And I said, I'm taking a stand and I'm doing something different. I'm going to see what happens. And so I ended up embarking on that. And I said, I'm going to go all in my spare time, and I'm going to do something. So I changed my standards for myself. I made a decision that what I was going to do was, and by the way, thank you, Tony, for popping on, by the way. And Liz, thanks for popping on. So I decided to change my standards for myself, that I no longer wanted to live paycheck to paycheck. I no longer wanted to have my dreams. I no longer wanted to have that memory of my family selling the family cabin that I really, really, really cherished. I was like, I'm going to go get that back. I'm going to go get that back. And so I changed my standards for myself. And I says, I'm going to go and I'm going to tackle life now. I'm going to achieve more so I can get my dreams. If anybody has been in that sort of situation where they've changed their standards, say I have down below if you don't mind. And a lot of times we change our standards and it's scary. So we say, because we haven't changed our standards in a long time, right? So we've just been living for 10, 20, 30 years with these normal standards of paycheck to paycheck, and it's normal. But I'm here to tell you that that is normal if it's normal around you. It doesn't have to be normal. You can literally change it in your mind and say to yourself, I've had enough. I've had enough of that. And I'm no longer going to stress that if my car tire blows up, I'm going to be able to fix it, no problem. If my car, breaks down, I'm going to be able to afford to go get a new one. If I'm sick and tired of driving that gas car that I just bought, 7 months ago, that I'm sick and tired of the fuel prices being at almost $2 per liter here in Canada, well, Vancouver anyways, I'm going to trade that in, take a loss, and I'm going to go and get myself an electric vehicle. You know what, instead of just going here for vacation, I'm going to go over to Maui for vacation, or whatever it is. I feel like seeing this person, I'm going to go fly and see that person. I want to be able to have the money to be able to do what I want to do with it when I want to do with it, and not have to save up for a whole year to be able to do what I want to do. Sick and tired of that standard that I created, believed in, and lived for, since I was basically, 20 years old. So 26 years. I'm 46 right now. So 26 years, I let myself to have those standards in life. And it wasn't until I said, no, enough is enough. I'm going to change those standards for myself, and I'm going to start walking towards those new standards. Like, you don't have to worry about how you're going to get there, what it's going to look like, how you're going to get there, how it's going to be done. You don't need to know all that stuff. What you need to know is you need to just reset your standards and start along the path, and it will figure itself out along the way. There isn't a recipe. This is not a baking. We're not baking a cake here, right? You ever know, you notice that if anybody a baker on here, if you're a baker, or you baked a cake or bread, or you're a baker, you know it's a specific recipe, right? It's a very specific recipe that you need to know. It needs to be written down, and you need to follow it to a T. That's baking. But cooking, on the other hand, is a lot different. I asked my mom, if you ask my mom, hey mom, or Arlene's her name, hey Arlene, how do you make that amazing, we call it beef barf soup, but from back in the day when we were kids, we didn't like it, but now we love it. It's called beef barley soup. What's the recipe to that? That's amazing. How do you cook it? I don't know. I just do it. That's the difference between a cook and a baker. If you want to change your standards, you have a goal and you become a cook. And you season it along the way. If you've cooked it like this or whatever, just add a little bit more of that or add a little bit more of this. It's not baking where you have to be exact. So much baking soda, so much flour, 1 egg, not too much water, a little bit of vanilla, whatever it is that you're cooking. It has to be exact. Otherwise, the cake flops. But in this and changing your standard, you just have to have that gut decision that that's what you're going to do. I'm changing it for myself. I'm fed up. How am I going to do this? Well, if you want to go make more money, go make more money. If the gas prices go up and you're complaining about it, go make more money. Go make more money, and I'm not saying that it's okay that the gas prices are so high, but if you make more money, then you won't have to worry about it so much. It's only because we've chosen the standards that we have that we're struggling to where we're at. And if you surround yourself with amazing people who are going somewhere, getting somewhere, and inspiring you to go, inspiring you to be a better person, if you surround yourself with amazing people, what happens is you're eventually going to become those people. If you engulf yourself in motivational speeches, self-development, you no longer can stay where you are because you're growing, right? So if you're growing and growing every day with self-development through books, audible books, listening to the books, I should say, if you are growing with people, you're surrounding yourself with higher beliefs than what you have, they're going to rub off. Hi, Yana. Thanks for popping on. Sorry that I missed our Connect call yesterday. Would like to connect with you, definitely. So I got sidetracked there. So if you surround yourself with amazing people, what happens is they rub off on you. They really do. And it's inevitable that what's going to happen is that you become an incredibly improved version of yourself. And then you start realizing, wait a minute, if I'm hanging out with people that tend to have a little bit of extra money, I wonder how they do that. I wonder how they got that. I wonder what they're doing. If you're hanging around with a bunch of people who are 40 pounds overweight, and you're 40 pounds overweight, the odds are you think that you're normal, right? You're like, hey, I'm normal. Everybody's 40 pounds overweight. This is just the way that it is. Thank you, Tony. And I hang around with you every morning too, and it's incredible. It's been an incredible ride so far, huh? It's been almost 4 months now, I think. So if we're hanging around with people that are 40 pounds overweight or all they're overweight and we're overweight, we think that it's normal, so therefore it's not weird. But if we were to take our 40-pound overweight body and we were to hang out with people who are all fit, instead of having 47% body fat, they all have 17% body fat, we would look like the oddball and we would have to do something. We would have to either